It seems like there's an unlimited amount of content intended to help you achieve your goals. And it makes me think that either one or two things are true. You suck, and you're not the type of person to follow anything through, and no matter what you do, you'll never be that type of person, or the common advice given to you doesn't work. I have reason to believe that it's the latter, because if it was easy, making your goals specific, actionable, and setting up the right systems, then you wouldn't struggle with consistency the way you do. Clearly, something's wrong. So in this video, I want to share with you the insights I have learned about psychology and neuroscience over the last several years so that you can stop wasting your time, start building trust in yourself, and begin to build a high agency life that you actually want. You probably blame yourself for not sticking to your goals, but what if the issue wasn't even laziness or a lack of discipline? What if your brain was doing exactly what it's designed to do? So let me give you an example to make this more concrete. I know sleep's important. It's the single greatest legal performance enhancer that we know of. And because of that, I have a goal of being in bed, ready for sleep by 10 p.m. But that only happens probably around about 60% of the time. The other 40% I get distracted by other things that I want to do, like writing a newsletter or working on these YouTube videos. Or maybe there's a cool YouTube video that I want to watch and I didn't get a chance to watch it through the day. Or Flippy Floppy or the Bing Bong. And it isn't as easy as just saying, just be more disciplined, bro, because these things are goals that are competing with my goal of getting to sleep on time. Let me explain. There's something I want to achieve from each of these goals. Like working on impactful ideas inches me closer to my business goals. Watching YouTube videos satisfies my urge to learn something new and novel. And Flippy Floppy or the Bing Bong is immediate release when I'm wound too tightly. My brain has to cast votes about which one of these things is the most important thing to do. And it usually isn't sleep that wins the vote. And this is crucial for you to understand. You don't follow through on your goals because your brain is casting more votes to these other goals that you have. So if distractions are actually goals, how does your brain decide which one of these win? And to answer that, we need to talk about one of my favorite topics, evolutionary psychology. Think about this because it is wild. If all of human history was a 24-hour day, we were hunter-gatherers for 23 of those hours. Everything that has happened over the last 12,000 years is just 1 hour of the day. So our brains are literally designed to hunt in the wild. Now imagine that you were a hunter-gatherer back in those days and you were hunting a deer. But then on the hunt you heard this rustling of the bushes beside you. In that instant, your goal of hunting this deer completely dissolves and all your attention goes to looking at this bush. And it has to, because in that bush might be an opportunity for an easier kill, or it could be something that could kill you. And your brain has to run that information through 4 key areas of the brain to make a decision about what it's going to do next. You don't actually have to know the names of these different brain areas, but I wanted to give you some context about how your brain works. And dopamine is a currency that these different areas of the brain use to cast votes to decide what you're going to do next. This means that whatever goal is most emotionally loaded, most anxiety and fear inducing, and has the highest prediction of a reward is what you'll do. As Dr. K from Healthy Gamma GG says, you don't control dopamine, dopamine controls you. All goals, whether it's checking your phone after a notification or building a $100 million business, use this reward circuitry. And here's why this is super important to understand. We need to approach ourselves with compassion and curiosity, even during self-sabotage, because ultimately, our brains are just trying to do what it thinks is best for us. If you want to achieve your long-term goals, you have to make sure your brain is casting dopamine votes towards those goals. But how do we do that? Well, I have a 3-step system which addresses the 3 worst goal-setting mistakes which destroys your chances of success. First up is the most common reason why people burn out and become disconnected from their goals. So let me ask you a question. What do you think your brain is going to cast more votes towards? The career that your parents wanted you to do? Or your own dreams? It's complicated. On one hand, your parents get a bunch of votes because our brains are wired to conform to the expectations the tribe has of us through evolution, and you're probably scared of going after your own dreams, So that gives more votes to comply to these expectations. And so it makes sense why so many people park their dreams for one day, or they just resign to the fact that these are dreams. I call these should goals. They are goals that you pursue because you think you should pursue them, not because you actually want to. Now, should goals are pretty obvious to see in the case of a career, but what about an example where should goals are not obvious at all? If you're overweight, you probably think you should lose weight. And you may even want to lose weight, or more specifically, it's your prefrontal cortex that's casting votes to lose weight. But what about these other areas of the brain? What are they casting votes towards? And honestly, it's probably staying as you are because that's safe and familiar. So the bottom line is this. If we want to pursue our goals with long-lasting energy, we need these goals to be in alignment with what our brains are casting votes for. And this is the super counterintuitive thing. Initially, we need to forget what we think our goals are and instead select a big problem that these areas of the brains are casting votes to solve, because that brings us into alignment. The second mistake is one that almost no one talks about, and yet is one of the biggest reasons why well-intentioned goals fail. So let me show you how this works using Leon Hendricks as an example. And if you don't know who Leon is, he's a popular self-improvement YouTuber, and he made this exact mistake when he was trying to grow his YouTube channel. So Leon would make these super high production stories with a meaningful message at its core. And they're great videos. The only problem is Leon hated making them. He felt like in order to be successful on YouTube, he needed to get millions of views, and this was the only way he could do that. And eventually being out of alignment took its toll, and Leon had to quit YouTube for quite some time. Now, we do this type of thing all the time. We have something that we want to achieve, and then we assume that there's only one way to achieve it. But that's complete bullshit. It isn't true at all. There are no rules. You can do anything you want, any way you want, generally speaking. And here's what you should do instead, step by step. Step 1, pick something to try that solves your problem. Step 2, commit to it for 30 days, but give yourself permission to quit if you're not enjoying yourself. Step 3, note down exactly what you didn't like. And step 4, try something else and repeat. If you do this, what you'll end up with is a list of constraints that will inform your decisions. And this is exactly what Leon did when he made his comeback to YouTube. His constraints look like this. How can I grow a loyal following of 100,000 people who are my ideal target audience while making videos I enjoy so much that I could do it for the next 10 years? The biggest problem with goal setting advice is that they get you to set goals even before you know what goals you want to commit to. Like, it makes no sense. Select a problem, test different solutions, iterate to narrow down exactly what you want to achieve, and then build a solution that you love to do. Do this and you'll never have to worry about consistency ever again, because now it's just what you want to do. I call this process building a project. It's how I unfucked my mind, body, and career without it ever feeling hard. So if you're interested in working with me one-on-one, there's a link to a Google form in the description below. Go fill it out, apply there, and I'll get back to you letting you know what we can do together. So the third mistake is the biggest excuse everyone makes. And look, I get it. You have a 9 to 5, which is actually more like a 8 to 6 by the time you take into account commuting, preparing, and all the other little details that get lost in the wash. And then there's also errands and chores you have to do, family responsibilities and social commitments. So you probably only have a couple hours left in the day to do what you want, but you're too tired and too drained to do anything more. Everyone struggles with time. So here's the fix. And it's the exact same fix that I used to save up $100,000 by the time I was 25. I set up these automatic transfers so that the day after I got paid, 60% of my wage would be automatically moved into these different savings accounts, meaning I had to make do with 40% of my wage to pay for rent, bills, and other personal expenses. Essentially what I did to make sure that I made my savings goals is that I paid myself first. And it's exactly what you need to do for time management. So here's how, step by step. Step 1, pursue one big goal at a time. Step 2, define one daily action you can do towards your goal. Step 3, Accept that not everything is going to get done, but that one action will. When I was working at the R&D startup, I had 4 hours each day to work on my own projects. 3 hours, well, the first 3 hours in the morning and the last hour at night. Some days I had less, but every day was a non-zero day. And that's the goal here. If something is a priority, your brain will make it a priority. And if it keeps getting pushed aside, you need to revisit mistake 1 and 2. So in this video, I showed you how you can bring your goals into alignment with what your brain wants. But as you can see by now, if you don't have motivation, then consistency doesn't stand a chance. So check out this video next where I break down exactly why discipline is a fucking myth and how you can build insane levels of motivation to actually be disciplined with ease. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you. Bye.